For those of you who are new to Gems and Java, Mothers with a Heart for Ethiopia started 5.5 years ago, 1 year after I came home with my precious daughter, Julia, from Ethiopia. While my mom and I were in Ethiopia to bring Julia home, we were able to support a group of boys and girls who were living on the streets with meals, blankets, tarps, clothing, shoes, and shoe shine kits. Before we left to come home to Canada, we sponsored 6 of the boys to go to boarding school. Our friends and family made this possible through their financial generosity. I had the extraordinary experience of seeing firsthand how my money could transform a life. Almost 7 years later, Talahun considers me to be his mom, and I consider him to be my son. My son, the very next day after I committed to sponsoring him, went from sleeping on the ground with no shelter, sometimes going 3 days without anything to drink, most days only eating bread and tea once a day, and not having a parent to love him, to having everything he needed in a practical way, and a mom, a sister, and family here in Canada, and knowing he is loved and valued. He started a charity club in his school and continues to work with this group to provide practical help to many Ethiopians. He has recently graduated from college. I'm really proud of Talahun. My son has a hope for the future, and I am confident he is going to make a difference in his country. A team of 4 of our volunteers recently returned from a 2-week trip to Ethiopia, and we spent the entire 2 weeks with my son. He came along with us everywhere we visited. The night we left, my son placed a folded note in my hand. I am sharing this note so you can understand the incredible difference we can make in a child's life through sponsorship. My dear Mom, thank you so much for everything you are doing for me. Thank you for being a good example and inspiring me to be a better person. I feel incredibly grateful to have you as my mom. I thank you for you have shown me love, and you taught me in the way you are doing for needy and also patience in what you do. Thank you for you spent time with me. I am so happy. I always love you. You are my mom forever. My adoption of my daughter has also given me a son and the wonderful blessing of the work for Ethiopia. The 4 boys in our group home and our group home mom also feel this sense of love and value and appreciation for what we have done to transform their lives. On this recent trip, I realized in a deeper way than ever before the value of love, the value and the joy of showing others love, and the incredible blessing we have been given to be able to demonstrate love to the women and children in Ethiopia. When I returned to Canada from adopting Julia, I knew that my work for Ethiopia had just begun. Today, our organization is 100% volunteer-led and driven, and we have over 120 volunteers involved in our work. In just 5.5 years, we have given almost $270,000 to projects for women and children in that country. You will read in the program under the section Our Story about many of the projects we have supported to date. Megan Stacy, who was on the video earlier talking about Girls Gotta Run, was a member of our most recent Ethiopian trip, and she said of the trip that it was heartbreaking and heartwarming in equal measure. Along with the Ethiopian women and children we serve, we laughed, we sang, we danced, we played, and we cried, and we came back better for it. We not only saw needs, we also heard about and saw progress and development. We saw hope. We go to Ethiopia to ensure that our money is being used the way it is intended to be used. We go to learn, to meet our partners, and to show love. And speaking of love, the bears our volunteers knit spread joy and love everywhere we go. In Ethiopia, most children have never had a single toy. We gave bears to many, many children. The children danced with their bears, they threw them up in the air and caught them. They looked at them with amazement, and they hugged their bears. Even the older boys at Basayu were filled with joy to receive a bear, and I know that really touched the heart of Val Easton, who was a part of our team. Many of the children we gave bears to have lived through circumstances of loss, uncertainty, painful realities that the vast majority of us could never understand. To be able to hold a soft toy, to be able to cuddle with something that is yours to love, is a gift beyond measure for these children. What would you do if you had no pads, no tampons, or other means of dealing with your period? The vast majority of girls and women in Ethiopia use grass, leaves, dirty rags, and often miss school for days each month or are isolated from many areas of their lives during the days of their menstrual periods. WRAPS stands for Washable, Reusable, Affordable Pads. We love this project because it not only provides girls and women with a very practical and useful tool to carry on with their lives during menstruation, It also provides employment to 7 young women. All 7 of these women are not only learning an invaluable skill of sewing, they are also attending school in the evenings. One of the women is in grade 3, and others are in high school, and a few are in college and university. In the wraps kit are 8 washable reusable pads, a waterproof little carry bag for used pads, and a pair of panties. The beautiful fabrics used for the pads and the carry bag are a beautiful bonus. While we were there, we donated 125 kits to women and girls in our other projects and participated in the teaching that happens before the kits are distributed. I was not only very impressed with the teaching the girls and women receive about the reproductive system, how to care for themselves and their pads, what is normal and not normal, and when to seek medical attention. I was delighted to witness how engaged the girls and women were. They had clearly never had this education before. When we visited the women in the Spice Grinder project, they said about us, through our interpreter, they don't just care about our outsides, they care about our insides too. They had their arms lifted high in thanksgiving to God for the gift of these pads that we had given them. Over the past 4 years, we've supported a group of 40 women to be able to start their own Spice Grinder project. When we first met these women in 2013, they told us of their women's empowerment activities they were doing through our partner KVI. They told us they would one day be a national example of women helping to change Ethiopia. We believed them, and I thought, these women have all the passion, ability, willingness, and commitment to hard work. What they are missing is the money. We can provide the money so they can achieve their goals. Through very generous donations, we were able to provide funds for a building, spice grinder machine, a weigh scale, fencing for the property, donkeys to help carry the grain, capital of grain, training for the women, and gardening tools to grow vegetables on the land the spice grinder is located. These women are tenacious, dedicated, persistent, and committed to creating a better life for themselves and their family. I have met with these women several times and have been able to create a relationship with them. They told us, what you promised to us, you actually delivered. They are incredibly thankful, joyous, and so full of love for us, for what we have helped them accomplish. They are very grateful and cautious with the funds they have. They have not taken any money out of their group account yet. They want to grow their group account, expand the facility and projects, invest slowly but steadily in low-risk projects that can help strengthen the group. Isn't that great? There is some work yet to be done in this project in order for the women to be self-sustainable. Training on how to fix the spice grinder machine and training in inventory control are going to happen through our funding. I told them they are strong, capable women who we believe in and who can do anything they set their minds to. One woman told us with great conviction, I help my husband in the fields, I can use an ox. I will learn how to fix that machine or I will die. It was a great day for us. The women told us the government looks at their project as a model for other women to follow. There are other women in their community who also want to get involved in this project. The 40 women who we support have tried to encourage these women and provide advice. Our funding has made it possible for these women to develop a promising program that draws attention. Positive attention on women, we love that. The determination, the will, and the passion for making their project successful was evident. The chairperson of the group said, "We are not saying, please help us. We said that the last times you have visited, but now we are saying, you will see. In the future, the project will have expanded. Gardens, maybe a bathroom, perhaps even a car." We had the opportunity to go and visit 2 of the women's homes to see firsthand what life is like for the women in our project. The women were so happy and proud to have us come and visit them. This was a real eye-opener for our team. The women both live in mud houses with dirt floors, no running water, no electricity, and literally almost nothing for possessions. Their animals live in rooms that are adjoined to their house, so they are safe from being stolen. We saw how they used what they could find to decorate their homes, and one of the women had half blue and half yellow walls with with God, all things are possible, painted around the top of the walls. The colors were beautiful, and they obviously took pride in their homes. Their kitchens are a mud-walled room with dirt floors with only a few clay pieces to set on top of the fire to act as a cooking station. One of the women had her father and mother-in-law living with them, 3 children and a husband in a 3-room house. She told us of a time when they had much less and lived in a thatched roof hut. She told us those days were very difficult and that she was so thankful to have this home. She asked us to come and see her bedroom, which was as clean and as neat as can be. She was proud for us to see her room. I noticed on the wall there were 3 hooks. On one of the hooks was a clear plastic bag with all the clothing she had. These women have difficult lives. They spend hours and hours collecting water. They wash by hand. They try and keep a home clean that has dirt floors. They cook with the most limited means, and they care for children, in-laws, and family. I thought a lot about those visits and think about the tremendous everyday challenges these women face just to live. I also think about how amazingly and unfairly I have been blessed to have the home I do, where running water, electricity, a dishwasher, stove, and fridge all make my life so convenient and so easy. And what's the difference between those women and us? Simply where we were born. These women have spirit, they have passion, they have a vision, and they want to change their lives and be an example to other women. It is a true blessing to know we have been a part of helping these women accomplish their dreams. Although the government of Ethiopia is working to require children to go to school, education is not a guaranteed reality for most children. In fact, only 45% of children attend primary school, and by the time children are in secondary school, only 39% of boys and 28% of girls go to school. 24% of girls are married by 15, and 49% are married by 18. Ethiopia is 10th in the list of countries with the highest prevalence of child marriage. Although the government of Ethiopia has made early marriage illegal in some rural communities, the elders still encourage early marriage. Educated girls marry later, have children later, and have fewer, healthier children. Benefits of education include improved health and enhanced status in the community. Our organization understands and believes in the importance of good education. We believe that if change is going to happen in Ethiopia, one of the main ingredients will be education. One of our newest projects is Girls Gotta Run. Megan talked about Girls Gotta Run during the video, and I can tell you she is on fire for this project. We love this program because it is providing an excellent education to the girls in the program. Athletic training, life skills training, nutritious lunches, healthy snacks, and an opportunity to build confidence and friendships. When the girls were asked who planned to attend college or university, all 55 girls in the program shot their arm up high. There was no reservation, no hesitancy. These girls were positive and confident about going on to higher levels of education. We now sponsor 5 girls in the program and hope to be able to sponsor more. When we met with the girls and their parents, we were so impressed with the parents' commitment to have their girls finish their educations and go on to the studies of their choice. They want their girls to have a better future than themselves, and they know that education is at the root of that brighter future. One of the fathers said that he and his wife had not had the opportunity to go to school, and they want a very different life for their daughters. He wants his daughter to choose what she will do with her life. He wants and hopes that she will go on to help others in Ethiopia. We love hearing that. An incredible element to this project is that in the 3rd year of the program, the family of the girl will receive financial management training and entrepreneurial training to help the parents or parent to support their family. This program gives so much to a girl. It helps to keep girls in school, will reduce child marriage, and will help to create change in Ethiopia through educated female professionals and leaders. Did you know that the cost to sponsor a child of grade school age to come to Canada is almost $13,000 a year just for their schooling? The cost to sponsor one girl for a full year in the Girls Gotta Run program with all that is included is $800. With your help, we can continue to sponsor 5 girls and hopefully a few more. Educating a girl is an investment in a better future for Ethiopia. Besayu is another incredible project we fund. The program serves children who have been living on the street. The pictures here are of children who live on the streets. Besayu provides shelter, education, clothing, food, medical care, psychological care, and the main aim of the program is to reunify the children with their family. Often a child is living on the streets because her or his family are too poor to feed them, clothe them, and take care of them. Besayu meets with the families, assesses the reasons why the child went to live on the streets, and most often can provide the training, the education, or some resources to enable the family to care for their child again. The reunification rate is approximately 85%. They have great success. Our team was incredibly impressed with the Besayu campus, the staff, the program, and the obvious love the staff have for the children and the respect the children have for the staff. Val loved leading many groups in Ethiopia in song, and Basayu was one of her favorites. We did art and face painting, dancing, soccer, and gave out bears. We were told that we were the first group to do a program like that with the children. I don't know who was more blessed, the children or us. My guess would be us. Basayu is a project that impressed me from the very first time I met the directors and saw them interact with the children. Each time I visit, I continue to be impressed, inspired, and so very thankful for the love and care they are giving these children who have lived lives that I will never, ever have to face. Prolapsed uterus is not uncommon in Ethiopia. In fact, over 10,000 women in the Wailita region alone are living with this condition. A prolapsed uterus is where the uterus is protruding from the body to varying degrees. In the most severe cases, the uterus is completely outside of the body. On our recent trip to Ethiopia, we met women who are living with prolapsed uteruses, and we also met with 3 women who had surgery and now are living a new life, a life free from the misery caused by this condition. We visited a rural health clinic where many women walk for hours and sometimes even days to come and ask for help. We were told that many women arrive with blood streaming down their legs due to the rubbing of their legs against the uterus. Now, please further imagine a culture that is incredibly private and where women do not talk about personal problems with anyone, oftentimes not even their husbands. Many of these women do not even know if they will survive because they do not know what is wrong with them. The women we met with, women who lived in great secrecy with their prolapse, shared intimate details of their lives, their suffering, and their complete and utter joy and thanksgiving for the change the surgery has made in their lives. All 3 women talked about crippling depression, isolation, and sadness. These women lived with the condition for different lengths of time, from 1 to over 6 years. The women talked of bleeding, pain, and backaches. In fact, one woman had so much pain in her back, she would have to prepare food for her family on all 4s because standing was too painful. This woman would not have been on all 4s on a court floor. No, she would be on all 4s on a dirt floor in a mud hut with no running water, no electricity, and using fire to cook their food. This lady told us she would wear 2 pairs of underwear to try and keep her uterus from hanging too low. She had thought of ways she could take her own life because life had become so hard. Another woman told us that when she would squat to go to the washroom, her uterus would hit the ground. All the women talked about having a very bad smell. They felt their smell was so bad they could not be around others. They felt ashamed. One of the women said to us, "My fear was not being able to be with people. I was hiding. I was hopeless. I was ashamed." One woman was forced to continue to have sex with her husband because even though she told him she was in pain, he said if she refused to have sex, he would find another wife. In rural Ethiopia, if your husband leaves you or dies, your whole existence becomes a question because supporting yourself is unbelievably difficult. Even with a husband, life is precarious, difficult, and every day is a struggle. This woman had no choice for 1 year until she had the surgery. She had painful sex. One of the women told us of her state now. "I can walk, I can even run, I can sit, I can stand. My body, I control it, it is my own." Another woman said, "Now I am glad, I am joyful, I can do whatever I want." Each of the women told us that now they smell like perfume. The cost in Ontario to have a prolapsed uterus surgery is between $4,500 and $5,000 for one woman. Since last women, we have sent money for 94 surgeries. That same amount of money would pay for 6 prolapsed uterus surgeries here. On our drive back to Soto from the Bukama Health Clinic, we were absolutely delighted to have 2 older women drive with us to the Soto Christian Hospital. They had been to see Dr. Mark that day in clinic, assessed to need surgery, and because of our funds, they were able to drive with us to the hospital, have their surgery 2 days later, and have their lives transformed forever. It doesn't get any better than that. Mothers with a Heart for Ethiopia has been supporting Galo Shanto, a very rural and extremely poor school, since 2013. We have donated desks, chairs, tables, reference books, school supplies, clothing, and shoes and soccer uniforms. One of the realities for many children in that area is a lack of clothing. For some children, they have literally nothing but rags to wear and they cannot go to school. I have seen hundreds of children wearing clothing we would not even consider using for a rag. One of the children at Galoshanto School, the smartest student of all 1,000 students, missed school for 2 years because he had no clothing to wear and not enough food to eat. That is not okay. Since we've been providing him with clothing and shoes, he has been coming to school regularly, and we got to see him on our trip this time. During a visit to Galoshanto School to see 69 of the poorest children in the school, in their outfits and shoes that we donated, we met with the teachers. One teacher stood and spoke to me and us, and I will never forget what she had to say. It is an honor for us to see you helping this community that is deeply poor, especially in the rural area. It can transform the lives of many children. I have seen many amazing things at this school through the support of your organization. I would like to share the strong feeling of thankfulness for what you are doing. There is a difference in terms of color, black and white, African and Western, but we are all one in Christ. The practical part of this ideology has been revealed through your work. Through your actions, you tell us that people have time for Ethiopia. People, regardless of color or differences, can become one. You have shown us through the work you do in this compound. It is powerful. She believes we will be partners in the future, not us as the donors and them as the poor, because they will defeat poverty. We will not be waiting on aid from the West. Her message was deeply moving for me. When I listen to her, and even as I speak these words, I feel I have been given an incredible blessing from this woman. It just spoke to me so deeply. I told her that the only difference between us and them is where we were born, and we don't choose that. I told her that we were not the ones to be praised. It is them who are the heroes who are making a difference in the lives of these very poor children every single day. The money we raise through Gems in Java and through donations is absolutely essential to our work. It is the vehicle to show practical assistance coupled with the demonstration of love that makes people feel valued. Abject poverty has many effects on individuals. The impact is multi-layered and profound. Abject poverty results in women not being able to afford even $1 towards a surgery that will fix a prolapsed uterus. It results in children having to live on the streets because their parents have no means of feeding them. It results in girls and women not having more than leaves or grass to use when they have their menstrual periods. And as a result, they miss days and days of school, which can lead to other negative consequences. Abject poverty can result in girls being married off at a very young age. It can result in horrific abuse and misuse of children and women, and it can result in a lack of education. These are just a few ways that abject poverty affects everyday life in very significant ways in Ethiopia. If you would like to make a difference in the lives of women and children in Ethiopia, there are many ways you can help us. One simple way is to help us through donating gently used jewelry, purses, and fashion scarves. Another way, and very significant way to help our work, is through volunteering. As an organization that is 100% volunteer-led and driven, we need people, both women and men, to help us in all areas of our work. We have a particular and urgent need right now for individuals to become members of our silent auction committee. We also have roles that are a few hours once a year, to roles that involve a few hours in a month, to some volunteer positions that are involved almost on a daily basis. The beauty of our organization is that you can be involved in a way that suits your life, schedule, and your skills. If you're interested in talking to one of us, please sign your name and your phone number. It does not obligate you in any way to volunteer. Really, all it does is opens up an opportunity for us to talk to you about where your skill sets and your time might fit into helping our work. Lastly, another way to help our work is through donation. Our money goes a very long ways in Ethiopia, as I told you about education and about the prolapsed uterus costs. You have heard tonight about the results of the funds we have provided to the projects we support and how far our money can stretch compared to the cost for the same services here. Through the success of Gems in Java, we will be able to provide very much needed funds to our projects. Our team came away from our trip absolutely committed to, inspired by, and fully in love with each of our projects and the Ethiopian people. Although we cannot change all of Ethiopia's economic situation, although we cannot provide surgery for every woman who has a prolapsed uterus in Ethiopia, Although we cannot bring hope to all women and children, we can make a profound difference in some women and some children's lives. If your heart has been touched by one of our projects or more than one of our projects and you would like to respond, I would encourage you to please read the donation card at each of your place settings and respond as you can. Any amount you are able to or would like to donate will be gratefully received and receipted. Thank you.